Foundational Black Americans are being they're getting the pushback they deserve. Because as a Black British person, if I said something, you tether, you hate us, they would have just come at me in a way that would have just been so annoying. But I'm loving to see the discourse of Black Americans come at them and say, hold on, what you're doing here is wrong. They are calling Africans filthy. That's why when I heard someone say they are adjacent to white supremacy, I was like, thank you. Because I knew they felt familiar in a horrible way. Like, they just felt familiar. And I was just like, you're literally tethering onto them. What the hell is this? You're now coming up with slurs. Like, that level of vitriol and hate. And these are the same people with the track record of you were Hebrew Israelites and you were Cherokee and all these things. Like, the lack of education with, respectfully, Americans in general is quite diabolical. And you would have thought with speed, going around Africa and actually just showing how welcoming and warm a lot of Africans actually are. Because that's an excuse a lot of FBAs make, which shows their doctrine is just built on being hurt, basically. No different to Hebrew Israelites who are just claiming that the white man is Esau and they're just angry. Like, it's stupid.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a African woman from Zimbabwe talking down on Black Americans as if she's more educated than us. Well, let's pull up the definition of white supremacy. White supremacy in the United States is a long-standing ideology asserting that white people are superior and should dominate society, driving historical atrocities like slavery, Jim Crow laws. So again, you're actually uneducated because white supremacy has everything to do with us on the wrong side of it. You know, Black Americans isn't looked at as superior, obviously. What are you talking about? Y'all love talking about all these things that you don't know about, but then want to hop on the internet like you do know about it, all because y'all be on TikTok. Okay, let's get another thing straight. Black Hebrew Israelites. Let's get that under control. Deuteronomy 28. Yeah, we're going in the Bible. Yeah, something that y'all don't even pay attention to. You ain't cracked open, ain't dust off. Yeah, let's read that. Yeah. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. 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 What other people then went through slavery and was transported on ships? Exactly. Let's keep reading. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Again, who was sold unto their enemies all over the world? Exactly. So come again, you know, my people, the Hebrew Israelites that, you know, sometimes they be doing too much, but we ain't never lied. We ain't have to lie about nothing. Okay? Y'all so used to this being like more of a 2025, 2024, 2026 thing. Baby, my family been in this long time. Way before I was born. I'm born 26 years later. We still doing it. What are you talking about? We have to lie about nothing, babe. Let's get that straight. Again, uneducated. Cherokee, Indian, Native American. What do you mean? What are we lying about? If those people was over here in America before them Europeans came over here and conquered, took the land, whatever you want to call it, before we was in slavery, how are we lying? What do we got to lie about? My mother's father is Cherokee Native American. Ain't got to lie about nothing. What are we talking about? And then the lady continues to say that Black Americans wasn't the only people who went through slavery. We never said that we was, but guess what? We was the only people in the world who was sold onto ships, taken out of their country, and was enslaved somewhere else. Talk about that. Talk about how we're the only people in the world who has gotten their identity stripped. Talk about that. Talk about how we're the only people in the world who get called names, bywords, everything under the sun, depicted each and every day like we're doing right now. Talk about that. Yeah, we're the only people who've been through that. And we still go through it. Look at you. Talk about that. Be mad because my people are finally finding out who they are. Don't be mad because you hate who you are. The lady literally said that her people told her, don't claim Africa. Claim that you're from the UK. That sounds like a lot of self-hate to me. Exactly. The next time you want to get up here and think you're more educated than an American, make sure you got your ducks in a row first. Because we coming. And we coming with straight facts.
I was like, thank you. Because I knew.
Girl, hush. What you said don't even make sense. Black American and FBA literally can be used interchangeably. The only reason why some Black Americans don't like the term FBA is because they think that it's a group. They think that it's some type of political movement or some type of ideology when really it's just Black American with the word foundational put in front of it. Pushback and adjacent to white supremacy. Please kiss my ass. The truth is, you guys don't like the things that people who identify themselves as FBA, especially on TikTok, A lot of people get pissed off because they don't like hearing the truth. They don't like hearing people telling them how it is, and not basically kissing their other people's ass and just telling them the things that they want to hear that make them feel good. A lot of FBA people are very loose at the mouth and just will tell you exactly what they think and how they feel with no filters. And a lot of people interpret that as hate. They interpret that as, oh, well, you must be against me. No, I'm not against you. I'm just telling you exactly what I see. I'm just calling things how I see them with no filter. And that's the reason why you don't like it.
I said it that this week I'm going to literally be pulling out a lot of videos because it's more like everybody have seen an opportunity that Black Americans are the only one that they want to use and trend. So which one are you going to be saying that you're happy that Black Americans are getting the pushback that they deserve? Like then getting the pushback that they deserve and you're happy, is it that they are not standing up for themselves or something? Is it that Black Americans are not talking for themselves? Is it that Black Americans are just sitting down, keeping quiet and seeing everybody pushing them back? They are talking as well. And why is it that all of these immigrants that will literally come to America, because this is a Zimbabwe woman, obviously you guys have seen from the first clip of that particular video that she is actually Zimbabwean. Why is that whenever they come to look for greener pastures, they don't just look for greener pastures, they just want to keep looking for trouble? Look for greener pastures for crying out loud. If your country was that good, you would have stayed in your country. You would have not been hearing all of those mess of okay, foundational Black Americans, since you are not interested in hearing that word, foundational Black Americans. But you guys leave your country instead of coming to look for greener pastures. Enjoy, get anything you want to get and go. You think that the only thing that you can survive on now is dragging Black Americans, and that's quite sad. And that's quite shameful as well to every single African immigrant doing this. You're not disgracing me, you're disgracing yourself because I'm an African immigrant and I understand history. So the only thing I think you should know is learning to understand history. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. Yes, guys, with that being said, let's dive right into the other part of this video. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch.
The foundational Black Americans are being they're getting the pushback they.
First of all, this lady is from Zimbabwe and she lives in the UK. Why are the British or the people over across the pond always in our business? You talking about something, you happy that Black Americans, first of all, a FBA is a Black American person. There's literally over 50 million of us here in the United States of America. We don't all think the same. We don't all feel the same. We don't all act the same. We don't all have the same morale. We don't all have the same ideologies and the same principles. And it's very ironic that you would get up here and talk about they're the Israelites, they're the Cherokee. Bitch, y'all got how many tribes in one country? Over 200 in certain countries. Speaking different languages, having different customs. But yet we all supposed to be, over 50 million people supposed to be exactly the same, identify exactly the same, exactly have the same genealogy. First of all, being an Israelite, that's religion. And Cherokee, that's being a part of a tribe or a nation. That does not take away from the fact that you still are a Black American person. It doesn't take away from the fact that you still are American without an immigrant background. Y'all are so slow. When it comes to everybody else, they're allowed to be who they are. They're allowed to be different. They're allowed to separate themselves. They're allowed to delineate. But when it comes to us, 50 million, it's way more than 50 million of us here. You know they lie with the numbers. We all supposed to be exactly the same. Deeply melanated people inhabited planet Earth before anybody else. That pale skin is fairly like it's baby. Okay, it's a baby concept. We were all here before they were. So what makes you think that we are not everything? What makes you think that we're not everything? Now, if I do a DNA, the fake ass DNA test that y'all love to say, take the DNA. And the DNA test, I've seen people's DNA test results and it will literally say 5% Zimbabwean, 10% Ghanaian, 10% Nigerian, 20% Eritrean, 15% Polish, 5% South African. Y'all don't have a problem with that. Y'all don't have no problem with them fake phony DNA tests, them entertainment purposes, magic trick head ass tests. giving people 25 different ethnicities. But when it comes to Black Americans, if somebody calls themselves an Israelite and then somebody says they're Cherokee, and these are things that they can trace, these are customs that probably have been passed on. Y'all have a lot of oral tradition because y'all do not have paperwork popping the way that we do. It's a problem. We're uneducated. Yet we supposed to believe that we have 25,000 backgrounds and ethnicities from them fake ass DNA tests that y'all love for confirmation bias to tell us to take. Take the DNA. The DNA is telling me I'm 2% Chinese, and nobody questions that though. And you see her backhanded, oh, the education system in America, the education system in America. You're literally disrespecting us and calling us stupid. And these are the type of things that y'all always do. And yet we're not supposed to say anything back. Questioning a person's culture and lineage, telling them they have no culture, they're displaced, they suffer from the tree of forgetfulness, they don't know where they're from, they don't have no culture. That's disrespectful. Y'all don't think it's disrespectful, but it's disrespectful. That's you throwing a shot and taking a dig at me. So me saying something back to you now all of a sudden, oh, you guys are so hateful, you have slurs. First of all, being a tether is not a slur. Second of all, you all been had slurs for us. Y'all call us Akatas, Jareers, everybody, the Latinos, Mayates, y'all cotton pickers. Y'all been had slurs for us before we ever even entered the chat. Yet that goes over everybody's head. Y'all do not like matched energy. You feel like you're supposed to be the only one because we some generic African that don't know where we from and we displaced and misplaced and the orphans of the world. Y'all are mad that we are finally saying, bitch, that's not true. We're not about to keep letting you spin that web of lies and feed us this narrative about ourselves. We're breaking a cycle. We're breaking a cycle. We know where we're from. We know where our ancestors are buried. A lot of us grew up having the pleasure of knowing and being raised by them. We know what they told us. We know what paperwork says. Y'all are mad. Y'all are mad. That's it. And then to the nerve to say we're tethering to white people. Bitch, you got to be smoking. I don't know what y'all smoke out there in the UK, but you're smoking it. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn Wing.
FBA, I really want to know, where's y'all's boots on the ground when it comes to real life situations? You guys have a lot of energy regarding one Haitian lady coming up here saying dirty Black Americans. Her opinion is irrelevant. Why are y'all letting one person's opinion rattle y'all up so much? Who the fuck is that girl? Is she a world leader? Is she somebody that's signing checks? No, she is not. Why the fuck y'all so pressed like that? You know what I'm saying? These people in America are literally assassinating Black men, bro. FBA, y'all's people. FBA has this thing where they keep saying, this is their land, America is their land, their ancestors built America. Well, why the fuck do you guys not have it in control? You guys don't control not a motherfucking thing in America. You guys don't control not the planes, not the radios, not the TVs, not the schools, not the food. What the fuck do y'all control? Y'all don't control nothing. Y'all love coming on the internet and saying how much this is y'all's land. Y'all own America. Y'all own America. Y'all ancestors built America. Well, why is it that you guys have no say-so? You don't have no control over America. You guys don't have no privileges in America. Why is that? Get somebody, FBA. Where y'all at? Y'all have
reaction. Like, this is just a scapegoat for their own failures that they don't want to acknowledge. And in order for them to feel better about themselves and to feel better about their failures, they have to project that onto us and make us feel like we're pussies, we don't fight, we're weak, and we ain't running shit. But they won't look in the mirror and actually see that that's them. I want y'all to notice that increasingly when people make videos like this against Black Americans and trying to dog us and all that stuff, I want you to notice that they no longer have their flag to identify where they're from in their bio or in their username. I want you to notice that. They're starting to remove those things because they don't want you to identify where they came from, because they don't want you to really be able to Google and look up what's really going on in their nations, because they already know that they really can't talk for real. Okay, like for example, so let's address some of the things that she talked about in this video. She said that how come we ain't running shit? We talking about, oh, well, we are foundational and we built this nation, right? But how come we don't run anything? How come we don't run the country, right? How come we not in control of everything? Whatever she said, right? Mind you, our people are what, 14% of the population of the population that actually did the census. Is probably more of us than that, but probably not by much. 14%, right? It would be a historical feat in the history of humanity for 14% of a population in a country as massive as the United States of America, 3.8, almost 4 million square miles of land space, 14%, a tiny population of folks, to be able to run the whole nation. But yet, at 14%, we're supposed to be able to be running everything over here. But at 95%, because I just looked it up, let's say she's Haitian. Don't really matter where she's from, any nation outside of I'm trying to be politically correct. Let's say she's Haitian. 95% Black population. Why ain't y'all running shit over there? Why don't y'all own everything? Why don't y'all own all the resorts? Why don't y'all own all of the infrastructure? Why does most of your country look the way that it does? And you're 95% of your own little segment of Hispaniola. You ain't even got to try to populate the whole Hispaniola island. You only got half of it. And you can't even control your half? Your little slither of an island, you can't even run that? And you trying to come at us? And we only 14% of a massive ass fucking country like this? Why y'all responded to that one girl like she ain't nobody? Okay, that's fine. I know she not. But you don't respond to disrespect? If somebody disrespects you, you don't respond? You don't respond to disrespect? Because if you don't, then that, to me, I think that makes you a pushover. And then she doubled back in another video and called us pussies.
Police force, the people of authority assassinate you Black Americans how they do, and they treat you Black Americans how they do like shit. It's because they know y'all are pussy. They know you guys are not going to stand up with each other and fight against them because y'all pussy as fuck. Y'all have been successfully brainwashed. Look at how many of you Black FB.
We're pussy and we're successfully brainwashed, even though the only reason why she's even able to be over here as an immigrant is because of our people's contributions and our people's sacrifices, and the fact that we've been fighting for years upon years for the freedoms that we have, that she's literally living here and benefiting off of, but probably doesn't even know that because she's in such la la land that she has absolutely no idea how the reason why she even has any right to be here at all. People come down on us so hard just for reacting to their disrespect. Just reacting to their disrespect. They meet us with disrespect for reacting to their disrespect. To the point where I'm convinced that this is all just a reaction. Like this is just a scapegoat for their own failures that they don't want to acknowledge. And in order for them to feel better about themselves and to feel better about their failures, they have to project that onto us and make us feel like we're pussies, we don't fight, we're weak, and we ain't running shit. But they won't look in the mirror and actually see that that's them.
One thing's for certain, I will literally never care what an FBA has to say about me, so I'm gonna make this video once and pin it somewhere that I can easily refer back to it if I ever have to talk to y'all again. For those of you who have been fortunate enough to avoid this part of the Black internet, FBA stands for Foundational Black American. And what do they believe in? Who fucking knows? These are typically people who identify as Black, whose families descend through the American slave trade. And the one thing that they all agree on is F the rest of the African diaspora. I've never met an FBA with enough knowledge about other cultures to accurately, and I mean accurately because y'all be coming with the hotepiest of hotepery. I have never met an FBA with enough knowledge of other cultures to ever accurately make an argument for why we are inferior in any sort of way. Like, if you are an FBA right now, tell me what you know about the Haitian Revolution and how they are still to this day paying for the crime of simply being the first to try to seek independence. Tell me what you know about Brazilian favelas and how they're basically the same as North American hoods, if not worse. Tell me what you know about the French colonies in Africa, all basically saying fuck you to the point where they're now happy to be buddy-buddy with Russia. Tell me what you know about the history of any other country, because y'all are over here saying wild shit that makes no fucking sense off of 1 or 2 news articles and barely any history around any of these other people. Plus, y'all the main ones saying call ICE as if they're not grabbing you up too. Do you think you look American to an ICE officer? Do you think that the same people who have created the prison industrial complex wouldn't love to throw you into one of those camps? Some of my best friends are Black Americans, and we often talk about the differences between our family histories. And that is why I don't make generalized statements about people and their struggles and their histories and what they should or should not have been doing or what they should and should not be doing right now. So I'm not gonna say that I know everything. I have no idea about Mauritania's struggles. I have no idea about what Fijians went through. But I know that Black people around the world have been colonized and oppressed by Western nations for centuries, if not millennia at this point. And I'm not saying that this is the struggle Olympics where you don't get to say that you take the torch for having had it the worst. What I am saying is that if you want to be the people dividing the diaspora and telling Black people, African people, Caribbean people, whoever, that we don't get to be part of the same club because we didn't experience the same shit, at least know what the other people fucking experienced. At least know what their shit is. If we look at all of the things that Black people have been able to endure and still persevere throughout the world, if we look at the fact that there are people out there trying to actually unite us as a group, and y'all are the ones trying to divide us, it's giving you're a puppet of the man. It's giving you might as well go and talk to those white people again about recolonizing you, because clearly you don't want to work with us. And let me be clear, my problem is not now and never will be with people whose families simply descended through the American slave trade, because some of us actually do want to help bridge the divide between cultures and help people understand how we're all actually connected in this world.
FBA has no lineage. It is trademarked by Tariq Nasheed. Let me show you the receipts, because that's what we do as Atlanteans. We don't just talk, we come with receipts. We don't do that plebiscite babbling, Tariq, or should I say Marcus. Oh, and if you ask me, by the way, FBA stands for Federal Black Agent or Federal Black Agency. I'm the first one to come up with that real definition of what I see FBA being. If you're offended, so be it. Come with receipts and match them up against the master teacher, Earth the Atlantean. Now, as you can see here clearly, family, when you Google FBA, this is what comes up. Trademark application of Nasheed, Tariq, filed in March 13, 2022. Let's get into the article. Now, here's the article, family. Disclaimer with predetermined text, and it says what it says in quotes above. Now, the goods and services, right? So how does this lead to any lineage? This is a trademark so that he can use that term to make money off of, right? He ain't teaching nobody anything. Look, party name, Tariq Nasheed. I had it highlighted there for you for the non-believers. Now, Tariq, you should have stayed your butt over there on Twitter. You see, when you come to the TikTok streets where the Atlanteans are heavy, you're going to come across the master teacher on this planet, which is Earth the Atlantean, but you got a little tiny dose of what he was about to do to you. He didn't even get to get past his warm-up to bring up one receipt, because that whole panel had your back and had to jump Earth, mute him, and then you just start name-calling like you always do on Twitter. Well, guess what? When you come over to the TikTok streets, you got to bring receipts or we all going to call you out. Period. You're not the person who should be telling anybody about anyone's lineage. Leave that to the professionals, the real scholars who have receipts of everything that they say and can back it up unequivocally. And the number one person to do that is Earth the Atlantean. So have some respect when you have his name in your mouth. Any Atlantean for that matter. Yeah.
He was on the panel and he said, my country is ran by a gang member or gang leader or whatnot. Nigga, the cops are the biggest gang in the United States. Oh, this was always ran off of structure. So now slavery was structure. Sundown towns are still a thing. It's legal. Why is that a legal thing? Mississippi still has plantations, and they want to talk about. Hello. And this is a black American that we talking about. You trying to stand up and defend a country that if you go into a specific state, after a certain amount of time, your ass could get lynched. Whole time you in a country where they put in chemicals in your food. You went and got the jab, got all types of shit put inside of your body that you don't even know about. They got you in a systematic slavery. Epstein files come out. How many of them boys is locked up? Why don't y'all talk about that? Why don't y'all talk about that? I know they're worried about the wrong shit. And that's why immigrants keep on coming to the United States, because it's a big ass loophole, because y'all let people get away with shit like that. That's why a whole bunch of immigrants come over, they make their bread, and what do? They send it right back to the crib. When a Cuban come to the United States and they make their bread, what they doing? They go in the Western Union, sending it right back to the crib. That's why we coming to the United States for real. Fuck wrong with them.
Anyways, welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys literally enjoyed every single clip I was able to roll out for you guys. And here we go with a Zimbabwean woman trying to educate foundational Black Americans. Again, I said this week is crazy. Everybody is now coming up to everybody is now coming up to blow up. Do you get? Everybody is now coming up to shine. Everybody's now coming up to limelight because they just want to discuss about Black Americans, and they know that there is no way they're going to be saying the good parts that they know about Black Americans and go far without saying the bad parts. So the only thing they choose is to say the bad part of Black Americans. It's quite sad, like I said. I'll keep saying it, that every single race that by mistake or by error happens to be in America choose to always attack, talk down, or talk to Black Americans, even when in real sense Black Americans are not even coming for them. You can imagine someone said she is very happy that Black Americans are getting the pushback that they literally need. Pushback in what sense? Because the last time I checked, if you come for Black Americans, they are definitely coming for you, just like you that made this video that came for them. They are literally coming for you and giving you the answers that you deserve. An eye for an eye. That is what they are doing right now. They are not keeping quiet or keeping silent for you to just do anything or say anything you want to say and just go your way. That is what I've seen the last time I checked. So she's saying that every single time, and she's happy that Black Americans are getting the push back that they need. It's crazy. I have never seen anybody that will be like, I am happy for this person getting this push back or push down. That means there is a level of hatred you must have for those particular group. And then they will not make it so specific, foundational Black Americans. Because they are every single Blacks in America. So they cannot just want to generalize it. They also want to make sure they pick that particular word, foundational Black Americans. And that is when, and I know personally that these people have beef with when someone is trying to bring out who he or she is. Because Black Americans are no longer giving them all of those legs that they need. Because check in the history of America, who has been one of the backbone of immigrants? Black Americans. Who have literally paved way for immigrants to be in America? Black Americans. Who have literally tried their possible best to make every single person stand in solidarity with each other? Black Americans. So the only time, just these few years now, that Black Americans are saying, we're no longer doing it. We are folding our arms and watching. We are not going out. Your problem is not our problem. Your thing is not our thing. We are foundational Black Americans. We thank God we cannot be deported, though. And we are not the one that actually voted for this regime. Everybody is angry. Every single immigrant, both illegal immigrants, they are all angry. And they will not see the particular person that is making them to go through all of that stress, all of that trauma. They will unleash and put all their pains, their sorrows, and every other thing that they have on Black Americans. One thing I love Black Americans, and I'll continue to say this time around, is energy for energy. You give me bad breath, I give you bad breath. Honestly, you want me to be happy, I want you to be happy. You give me peace, I give you peace, because even the Bible says there is no peace for the wicked. So you are happy that they are getting the pushback. I don't think there's any pushback here, because in as much as they're trying to make Black Americans feel like they don't understand, they are giving them basbos. Go and ask every single person that has actually been coming up for Black Americans. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.